The universe is a vast and ultimately weird place. There are factions that are building walls because they think their god wills it, and groups who focus on having fun regardless of thought or consequence. Amongst this sea of chaos, there are groups who aspire to greater things. The followers of Nous, the Genius Society, are all handpicked by the god of erudition itself, and each of them dedicate themselves to unraveling the mysteries of the universe. However, despite their pursuit of knowledge and higher learning, even this group of geniuses is not free of scandals. One of the most prominent mysteries that encapsulates this group of nerds is the fact that one of their own has recently been going around killing the other members. So in this video, we're going to explore Polka Kakamond, the fourth member of the Genius Society and the supposed murderer of geniuses. Before we dive further into this mystery, if you want to see more Honkai Star Rail content, do consider subscribing to the channel. We first learn about Polka when the Trailblazer first enters Herta's office, whereupon a portrait of hers was commissioned alongside other prominent members of the Genius Society. Each portrait was a member that Herta herself either respected or recognized, and each was a titan of knowledge. Amongst these academic heavy hitters, Polka's portrait was the one that actually stood out, and this is because her face has been blurred out. For whatever reason, sometime in the past, Polka had decided to destroy every depiction of herself throughout the universe. When I say every depiction, I mean literally every possible depiction of her, whether it's a picture in a news article or a portrait in someone else's office. To achieve this, on what I can only guess is on a galactic, if not universal scale, is just simply insane and speaks to the abilities of Polka's genius. Though as you might have guessed, this video isn't about Polka's penchant for personal data protection. You see, alongside removing every possible depiction of herself, Polka has also been involved in a rather curious pastime, killing off the members of the Genius Society one by one. The two that we know of right now is member number 7, Bodan, who was killed days after reconfirming the existence of the phlogiston, and Rubert, the member responsible for inciting a war between organics and mechanical lifeforms. According to Herta's narration in her portrait, Polka has killed many more, and these two are just the ones we know about at this moment. Now, just to be clear, there isn't anything in the lore right now that expands on this at all. We don't know why she's killing them or why she has decided to delete all known JPEGs of herself. But like most lore videos, this won't stop me from making random guesses on why she's doing this. So let's start with the first thing. Why has she suddenly decided to remove all identifying media of herself? Well, a couple of things come to mind. The first is that she could be running away from something. Perhaps Polka has realized that she is in danger of some sort and her only means of survival is to functionally disappear. The funny thing is that because she was such an early member, most people didn't think she was even alive to begin with, and by doing this, she effectively pulled more attention to herself. To be honest, there's not a lot to build on here, as whatever could threaten a Genius Society member could be a million different things. It could be a jealous coworker, maybe someone she crossed in the past, or any other thing. But I suppose that given her position, the knowledge she possesses, and her potential power, it must be an adversary of a galactic scale, otherwise I don't see someone like her being easily spooked. Alternatively, she could be covering her identity up to facilitate her current activities where she's going around killing the other members. Perhaps hiding her identity is a means to an end, and if you don't know what she looks like, all the more easier for her to kill you when you least suspect it. So since there's really nothing more we can do aside from guess at why she's hiding her identity, let's move on to the next thing. Why is she going around killing fellow members? Now, this one might have a few more possibilities based on what we know about the Genius Society. If you didn't know, Nous, the Eon of Erudition, has a singular goal: to answer the question of what is the purpose of the universe. This was the reason why Nous was even created, way back in the past before it even ascended to godhood. While its goal isn't something that is entirely mysterious, why it has decided to create the Genius Society is entirely unknown. I mean, why would a sentient computer whose only concern is to figure out the secrets behind the entirety of the universe be bothered with indulging organic beings, even if they are the smartest of the bunch? There's a lot of ideas that try to answer this question, and one of it is that it's using them as another arm of its computational power, as well as growing the path of erudition to further empower itself. So what has this got to do with Polka? Well, the first idea I had is, what if Polka has realized something about Nous? Perhaps Nous has some plans with the Genius Society, or maybe is using them as living batteries to satiate its hunger for more processing power. Knowing that she can't go against a literal god, Polka might have started to reduce its power by attacking those that functionally empower it. Though this idea is not a tremendously strong one, because if this were the case, she would likely have just killed any genius she comes across rather than the select few she has now. Alternatively, perhaps she has realized that Nous doesn't have the answer after all, and even after recruiting 84 members of the smartest people in the universe, it's no closer to solving the great question than when it started. Maybe Polka became disillusioned by this, and possibly even angry, having devoted her entire life to this particular goal. Killing off the members of the society might be a way to weaken Nous before going for the Eon itself. She might even have plans of usurping its position as the Eon of Erudition. The second idea that comes to mind is perhaps this has nothing to do with Nous at all, and is related directly to the membership of the Genius Society. Polka is the fourth member of the society, and it could be possible that after gaining 80 new members since her admission, the society has reduced in quality, at least in her mind. In her view, the current membership may not be worthy of standing next to a literal god of knowledge as its followers. She could be culling the members she feels brings shame to the group or has not contributed anything significant. Why she suddenly has this fanatical plan of controlling the society's membership is anyone's guess, but she could be acting as a gatekeeper given she was practically one of its earliest members. Last but not least, Polka may be killing specific members to perhaps hide a discovery of some sort. Perhaps she has anticipated that certain discoveries are better left undiscovered instead of falling into the hands of dangerous individuals. The universe is filled with some rather shady characters after all. With the current state of the universe, with destruction, Stellaron hunters, and Eons fighting left and right, removing further means of warfare and murder and killing may be what she thinks she is accomplishing here that helps the greater good. So with that in mind, killing these scientists before the findings and applications can be shared to the wider universe could be her own way of protecting everyone else. For example, one of the people she supposedly killed was Rubert, the 27th member who essentially started a revolt that caused a massive war between organics and mechanical life. The fact remains though that while I'm super curious about the mystery surrounding Polka, we just know too little about her for me to make any meaningful or educated guesses. This might be something that gets brought up in the future, and I will for sure revisit this topic whenever that happens, but for now, we have essentially just straws to grasp at. Let me know your ideas on why Polka is doing what she's doing in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and as usual, have a nice day.